We got some Twitter questions. This is from @PBMom, and she asks, I think this is for Ed, when is Dr. Reed going to get more story time?
Get more what?
Story time.
Story time.
Well, the last few episodes, there's been some really fun stuff. Ike and I just had a really fun story.
Yeah.
Basically, we all go to, can I talk about this story?
Yeah.
We all go to Santa Fe for a conference, and it also sees the return of Tommy Dewey as Josh. Very interestingly, Mindy kind of meets back up with him. And I guess Morgan and Jeremy have quietly become kind of good pals in the office.
Yeah.
And they kind of make each other laugh and stuff. And then once they get to this doctor's conference, Dr. Reed becomes a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, he's embarrassed by Morgan being loud and uncouth and
absolutely
annoying.
And he's kind of a bit mean to him. He's a bit kind of belittling.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they have, you know, a bit of a fight, and then there's like a fun reconciliation in the steam room, in the sweat lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some very wet hugging.
Yeah.
Wet naked hugging.
Wet naked hugging.
Wet naked hugging.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're building up something with a relationship.
We're wearing shirts, but we're not wearing pants or underpants when we hug.
No. The best way to be naked, I've always found.
That episode
Like
actually
Winnie the Pooh.
is one of my
Winnie the Pooh.
Is Winnie the Pooh dressed in that way?
Winnie the
Yeah,
Pooh
he's
wears
got
a
like a
shirt with
shirt.
no
No
pants. Do you have that in England, Winnie the Pooh?
But he has a negligible penis.
It's nothing. It's just
Nothing.
flat,
Very-
the flat surface.
that episode actually.
Eeyore though, big. Anyway.
Enough. Let's not. That episode, Santa Fe, is probably my favorite script that we had. It was written
Oh, it was
by
so funny.
Tracy Whitfield is here.
Who's on her phone right now?
Yeah,
She's on her
busted you.
Unbelievable.
Tracy
She's
and
tweeting a
Jack-
question.
Tracy and Jack came from 30 Rock, which just ended, one of our favorite shows.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was exciting because they've written some of our favorite
It was
episodes.
crazy. The last 3 writers that came in were writers who were on 30 Rock, and then Tucker Cawley was on Everybody Loves Raymond. So we had these 3 kind of all-stars join our writing room, and they're not jerks. They're really nice.
No, they're not.
Well, I also think there was a little bit of a bromance between Danny and Jeremy, too.
Yeah, we
in
had
the
that
DMV
fun episode in the DMV.
Yeah.
Which,
Are you guys going to go on
that was a
any
good
more adventures?
Actually, this next episode coming up, we I can't give too much.
That
away
you
about
can't
it.
give away.
That I can't give away. But we have some fun stuff with the Duplass brothers.
Yeah.
We have a little mission again. I always enjoy it when they hook up for a mission, you know, because
Yeah.
they approach things in very different ways.
Do you know what hooking up means in America? I think it's...
Yeah, it means full penetrative sex.
Yes.
They have very different approaches to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do Jeremy Reed and Danny Castellano.
Oh, my God.
All right, so let's move on.
Well, we have another Twitter question from Margot_Max. Is this for Mindy? How did being on The Office influence your leadership abilities?
Well, at the office, I would just like scream constantly and never get my way. So when I came here, I found at the beginning, I was like, it needs to be this way. And Howard Klein, who's here, who is probably the single biggest sort of support system and voice for the show. He has been my manager for many years and helped create this show and brought it to Fox with me, and has a great relationship with Kevin Riley. But he was actually the person who taught me how to be a leader, which is like, you don't have to scream when you want something. People will listen to you when you're the boss. And just, I'm still learning. I mean, I'm a little mercurial and stuff, but Greg and Howard were very even-tempered people, which is not, my inclination is to be like a hothead. And so the office is a very like peaceful place. Greg is like a wonderful, brilliant Keebler elf living among, he's just sweet and smart and leaves long pauses between sentences that you have to sit and, wait for. And so anyway, all this to say, like, Howard has been the #1 influence on me being a leader. He's wonderful and has created like 9 shows, so I'm just trying to learn from him.
You wear so many hats on this show. I mean, you're in the writer's room, you're producing, you're in a lot of scenes in every episode. I mean, how do you balance, and is there one that you enjoy more than the other?
Well, the truth is that when I'm doing a bunch, the other one I sort of do a very bad job at. But that's sort of why, like, Matt's here, Howard is there, and post and editing, and Matt is, rewriting, and why I have such a great cast. So, but it's hard. The one thing I will say is that I don't get a lot of sleep. People say, like, when do you sleep? But the thing is, when you're literally living your life's dream, you don't want to be sleeping. You want to be awake. So I do feel tired, but every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm like the star of my own show, and I'm like still like chubby and stuff. Like, how did this happen? Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, why? I should just be excited to be awake, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
People should be lucky to have one of those things.
Yes.